Hey y'all, come on in here for another conversation with Miss Heather. Um, I'm really glad to see y'all today. Today's a pretty good day for me. Waiting. I guess I could tell y'all this part. I can't tell you a lot about it, but I can tell you a little bit. Miss Heather has been working all year to get licensed as a foster parent to teenagers. So I'll never be able to talk about that stuff, but I think I can tell you that I've been doing that part. Um, it's just another part of what I'm trying to do to give back to my community to help these kiddos out, to prevent them from getting into gangs and prevent them from getting into committing crimes. And even if they've committed crimes and stuff, I'm still willing to help in that process of setting them on the right path. So I'm super excited about that. A lot of really good things are going on. Sorry, my dog's getting her toys out of her box. It scared me. A lot of good things are going on right now. So hopefully we can get some help out there to some people, and that always makes me really happy. Work has been slow. I do know that. Work has been really slow. And it's just the season. It's coming up on holidays, and nobody's coming to stay in beach rentals other than owners. So it has been slow, but God will provide. I know that in due time God will provide, and we can get some more people employed, and I'm looking forward to that. So those of you who apply and text me and check in with me, don't stop checking in with me. There's going to be that day where the door opens up and I can put you in it, okay? And I have a lot of doors to put you in, so don't give up on that. Just keep hanging in there with me, okay? I'll hang in there with you. You hang in there with me, all right? So I had to go pick up some books yesterday from J. Rubin and the detention center. If you don't know what that is, that's our local county jail for Horry County. And I went to pick up some books so that they didn't get disposed of. I accidentally sent some hardback instead of paperback, had to resend or whatever. But anyway, I've been giving these books out to folks who want to read them. Emotional intelligence, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that again today. I want to talk about that again today, okay? It's a short read. I have copies of it. If you want a copy, I'll get you a copy, and I'll give you a copy, okay? So what it is about, it's about getting you skills that'll help you both professionally and personally, okay? It's about handling stressful situations sensibly, making really genuine connections with people. It really helps to understand. It helps me understand. It helps me understand that not every situation is the end of the world. And I don't know how to explain this exactly, but when I was all wrapped up in my anger and emotions and stuff, when things would happen to me and I was going off the deep end because I didn't know how else to express my emotions or cope with my emotions or express them in a healthy way. Until I was in 2007, I know exactly when I found this book. It was in an airport on my way to Japan, and I found this book. I had a horrible trip to Japan. It changed the relationship between my oldest daughter and I permanently. My mom and I probably permanently. My biological mom, my egg donor, as I like to call her. But it changed me. This changed me. And the first, if you have any type of situation, the first place you should start, if you have any type of situation you want to change, if you have any type of situation you want to change, the first place to start is with yourself, okay? Typically, when you get yourself together, the other people around you tend to fall into place or fall out of place. And that can also be a hard thing to deal with, is that some people are just not meant to be in your life forever. And we want to continue that contract and relationship with that person. But the universe or God or Jesus or however you look at it doesn't want us to be in relationship with that person forever. It can be a family member, it could be a coworker, it could be a boss, it could be a cousin, it could be anybody. We are not always meant to be in relationship with people that we stay in relationship with. It took Miss Heather years to come to terms with that. It took years of me praying, asking God for answers, asking God for healing, asking for the ability to forgive people who had done things to me, who had abandoned me, who had neglected me, who I felt had let me down as human beings or as loved ones. I had to really work through that. But what changed me was when something really stressful happens now, is being able to cope with that situation in a very calm, and some would say mature, and it's not necessarily maturity. It's just about learning a skill that you may have never learned before, because you grew up in a household much like mine, which was volatile, full of anger and toxicity, violence, addiction, and maybe you never saw anybody show you how to handle problems. And that is so important. And that is really the root cause of why we can't come together as a people, as a community, across all barriers, and come together and get along. Because we're so busy out here beefing and getting on the next bandwagon to be angry about something, which is really nothing, but people are truly losing their lives over this, forgive me for saying, petty beefing. This beef that we have is just discord and disagreement to have discord and disagreement, okay? It's not the way we need to come together as a community to heal, to move forward, and to build something new and build a new way for each other. Okay. So you're going to hear me talk a lot about emotional intelligence, because I really, really, really believe it's the root cause of how we get along with each other in society. When people are not able to get along with each other, they tend to bully each other. They tend to say things to make another person hurt. And instead of us, and people, let me say this, people who do that, including myself when I did it, I was doing it because I didn't have the ability to articulate how I felt. I didn't know what was acceptable and not acceptable behavior in the workplace, or even at home, or in private. I had no idea. So when I started regulating my feelings, looking inward, going to therapy, getting on medicine, doing all of these things that you know that you have to do to heal yourself. And one thing is who you surround yourself with. I know your parents harp on it, and there's something to it, because if you're hearing a multitude of people saying maybe you should look at who you're hanging around with, then there might be something to that. So maybe if you want to hang around those people, you should be that person to say, hey, let's try a different way. It might come in the form of a different way to hustle up money. It might come in the form of a different way to make your music, different words, different beats, whatever it is, to make it different than what it was before. Because it takes 6 weeks to change a habit, or to stop a habit, or to start a habit. To repetitively do something for 6 weeks, to stop or start something, right? A lot of you may not have known that. And I kind of teach that way. in order to retrain your brain to do something that you haven't been doing before, you have to purposefully do it repetitively until you're able to do it without thinking. And then it becomes a habit, right? So one thing is regulating and listening. So if we, me included, listen and not interrupt people, a lot of times from the moment that we want to interrupt to the end of what that person was saying, we misunderstood it at that moment of interruption, but if we allow them to finish, we understand, oh, okay, they were saying that. Oh, okay, my bad. So I'm saying challenge yourself to listen. Listen completely. And then if somebody is off base, of course, you should stand up for yourself. You should say, hey, I don't agree with that, or however you articulate that and put into words and express your feelings at that moment about it. And then at some points, you have to understand that when you're at work, it can't be about emotions. It has to be about business. And Miss Heather had a hard time with that when she was in her early 20s and stuff. And even in my 30s, realizing that people at work, you handle people in a work situation in a very different way than you do in your personal life. So showing emotions at work is a huge no-no. You don't want to show a bunch of anger. That's going to get you fired. You don't want to sit there crying, because then people think you're emotionally unstable, even if you're not. It doesn't matter. It's what it looks like to those people, and then they let you go, because this is an at-will state for employment. They can fire you for any reason. So again, it's just about regulating your emotions. So allow people to finish their sentences, say what it is they have to say, and when it's your turn to speak, and I know that's hard. I know I'm sitting here saying this like it's so easy to do. I know that it's not. Miss Heather has a lot to say. Listen to me. I talk nonstop, right? And it was really hard for me to do that. But after a practice, I was even able to say, hey, what are you thinking or feeling first? Allow that person to express themselves to me, usually an employee, absorb it, process it, and then say, and think to myself, what can I do if I legitimately want to give compassion and empathy to this employee? What can I do to help them feel more settled in this situation? Because the bottom line is that we want to go to work, and we're all here to make money, right? Let's just settle this emotional situation behind closed doors with each other. Talk about how you feel, and hopefully I can support you, and then we can get back out there and get to the business of working, right? But it did take Miss Heather realizing I couldn't come to work with emotions. Now I'm a leader in that position of people who come to work with a lot of emotion, right? Because they say leave your problems at the door, but you can't. That's not possible to leave your problems at the door. And as a leader, I really know that. So I know that there's times that I have to sit here and listen to someone say, I had a baby up all night. I had, a sick mother I had to care for, and I didn't get any sleep. I have a disabled child. All these things that make people emotional when they come to work. Miss Heather would have to sit there, not have to, I was blessed to be in that position to be able to support people at that level and say, I hate that you're going through that. What can we do to support you here and now, but also get back to the business of working and making money, So there's always a way. Another good example, and then I'm not going to keep you. I'm going to let y'all go. Another good example is one of my good kiddos that I'm very close to is still locked up. And one thing that's very stressful for that kiddo is meeting with their lawyer. And that brings up a lot of emotions because they want to get out of jail. They feel like they're in there for a crime that they didn't commit. And, especially when they have to meet with the lawyer, it brings up a lot of emotions and desperate feelings, right? Because when you're locked up, you have no control over anything. Someone else is controlling everything you do, right? So I challenged him the other day on the phone. I said, baby, please. I said, when the lawyer comes in there, I said, I just listen to what he has to say. Just let him say what he has to say. Take it all in, and then you tell him what you want to tell him. But let's try not to get angry and not just refuse to talk to the lawyer. Let's try to do it in a way that we can get through this and process. It ended up turning out really well. Got the call back. Everything that we thought was true. And everything, and I don't really want to talk about it, but I just want to say that I was so proud of how he handled it, and how much just in these last few months that I've seen him grow, and it gives me hope that now that the plan that God has for his life, which is to teach kids to do alternate things instead of getting out there in the streets. Those are the plans that we see for him and that God has for him. And I'm hoping that while he's still incarcerated and when he does get out, that we can put those type of things into play, and that he can turn his life to helping other kiddos avoid the pitfalls that he got into. And so I'm hopeful for that. And I'm hopeful for all the kids that come into my life, and with the holidays coming up, I'm hoping to see a few of them. So if you're out there listening to me, you know who you are, kids. Come by and see Miss Heather on Thanksgiving. I'm going to be cooking, okay? So I did get a couple of things from Big Mike's. I did order some collard greens and some dressing. 2 reasons. One is I can't cook collard greens. I can prep them, wash them, prep them, and all that stuff, and I know what goes in them, but as far as cooking and all that stuff, I don't have that knack. So I tried to hire somebody who does. And dressing, I don't have the time to learn that on a day. That's, again, not a thing. I'm really good at other stuff, okay? I'm really good at the rest of the stuff, all right? I'm really good at that. The ham is, I put my foot in the ham, okay? I'm going to have some Cornish hens, and I'm going to have some gravy and mac and cheese and green beans and sweet potatoes and all that good stuff. Miss Heather can do all that stuff. We're going to have pies and all that stuff. But anyway, y'all kids come through, okay? I want y'all to challenge each other to not respond in anger. Let's try something different, okay? Just try it. Just try it. That's all I want you to do. Just try something different. Let's not respond in anger. Let's try to listen a little bit better. Let's try to pull from our emotional intelligence and get to that core issue of why we can't cope or adjust or move or whatever, okay? Maybe you need to really pull yourself back from all the people that are around you. You've got all this kiki all in your head, and maybe you need to pull back from that and really just center yourself again with God and yourself and your spirit, and find out what that plan is for you and what that next move is for you. And maybe you're in a situation that you need maybe some advice on, that you can't talk to anybody about, that you need it kept secret. You can always email me. There are people in the community that know how to get in touch with me, but you can email me. I always put my email at the bottom of these videos so that you can get in touch with me. Somebody can get in touch with me, and I will link up with you and get you, if you need help with something, no matter what it is that you need help with, okay? Even if it's not something I can do personally, which I can do a lot of things, but if it's something I can't do personally, we will find a way to get that problem solved for you, okay? I don't want you to feel like y'all are alone. I don't want y'all to feel like it's hopeless or that you're helpless or anything like that, because you're valuable kids to this community. Young adults. You're not even kids. You're young adults. You're valuable to this community. You are so smart, and you have such great ideas, and you have the art of hustle, and you have a lot of really good talents that I know that my generation and Generation X is overlooking. But I want you to know that I'm not one of those people. I'm listening, okay? And I'm here. Miss Heather's going to be in y'all's face, okay? So anyway, I think that's all I got for y'all today. All right. So y'all hit Miss Heather up. I love y'all so much. I swear to God, I love y'all. Okay. Y'all know I do. Y'all know I do. So let's keep doing this thing, and let's keep creating something new for ourselves in Conway and Myrtle Beach. All right. See y'all later.